What do you do, y'all? This is John, and today we are talking about Tomb Raider 3, a video game released back in 1998. And in Tomb Raider 3, it deals with Lara Croft. She is once again tasked with an incredible mission. She has to retrieve these artifacts that are used to help find this meteorite that crashed down in Antarctica. And in order to activate it, in order to obtain the meteorite, they need these artifacts. So she goes to look for them to help find the meteorite. Okay, so to get things started, first and foremost, what I liked about the video game. Obviously, Lara Croft is one of the greatest video game characters of all time. Lara Croft, especially older Lara Croft, she is just this incredible, female character. She's strong, she's intelligent. However, all of this stuff is earned. It's not, something they do just for, political brownie points. It's something they did to make this character interesting. Then again, this game was made before all that woke crap started, so, And I also liked how with this game, when you go to find these artifacts, you're actually able to choose which location you want to go first. You want to go to Nevada first, London first, the Pacific first. You're able to choose where you want to go. And honestly, that was kind of cool. The locations, however, got a little repetitive though, because they always end in these short levels that were basically just boss fights. And you very hardly got much of an investigation during these levels. I also like the graphics on this game. The actual traditional look of the game, because I played the remasters and you can choose what mode you want to be on, the old mode or the new remastered mode. When you're on the old mode, the game actually does have improved graphics over the previous two games, and when you're on the new remastered mode, it looks just as nice as the first two games. It does, and the graphics in the remastered mode are just amazing. The original mode, the old mode, they look really nice in that retro kind of way. And, they don't look bad. How's the story? The story, it's typical Tomb Raider story, but they at least do some interesting and new things with it. Like, as I mentioned earlier, you're able to, pick the locations you go to after you're done with the first few levels. But other than this handful of new things, it's kind of a typical Tomb Raider story, which honestly, that's fine as long as it's not overdone. In terms of problems with this game, it was definitely buggier than Tomb Raider 2. As a matter of fact, sometimes I encountered more issues with this game than in the first Tomb Raider. And it got really annoying occasionally because I'm sitting there, I'm trying to fight a boss, and all of a sudden, Lara freezes and puts her guns away. Why? Whenever that would happen, that was really irritating. Also, when it comes to the first two Tomb Raider games, those were difficult, but they were fair. Whenever you messed up, it was your fault, not the fault of the developers. I like that. I like difficult games, as long as they're fair. This one, it was kind of like the developers were deliberately trying to screw the player over. And I don't fault Aspyr with their remaster of Tomb Raider 3 for this. Clearly it was done back in the 90s. If this game's difficulty was more like the first two Tomb Raiders, or like Stellar Blade or Assassin's Creed 3, where it was difficult but it was fair, and if, you screwed up, that was on you, then, that would be a different story. Problem is that it felt like the game was working against the player rather than, when a mistake was made, it was just the player. Guys, at the end of the day, out of all 3 of these Tomb Raider games that just got remastered, while this has been my least favorite, that doesn't mean it's a bad game. In fact, it's a good game. The thing is that I just simply had a lot of buggy issues. And rather than it being difficult but fair like the first 2 games, it felt like it was working against the players. However, Lara Croft is still, an epic character. Story, it's fine. Graphics are good. The controls, for the most part, are good. And honestly, I would recommend this game. However, I would point out, it's not as good as the first 2. I'm going to give Tomb Raider 3 an 8. Well, that's all the time I have for today. Please hit the like button if you enjoyed this video. Please also subscribe if you're new to the channel. And as always, please remember, the Badetsky.